currently the generative AI tools are not that safe for widespread use in clinical practice. So we need to use these tools with caution because of all these issues we discussed in this video. Hello and welcome. Today's video is about artificial intelligence, more specifically generative AI. So doctors are already using generative AIs such as ChatGPT and Gemini. So this is a very relevant topic for all of us. So should we be worried? Is it scary? Is it safe? There are a lot of questions around using these generative AI tools in routine clinical practice. We all know the power of artificial intelligence. We know the capabilities of artificial intelligence in modernizing and transforming healthcare. So artificial intelligence is not new to the healthcare. It has been in use for several years. So what is relatively new is the use of generative artificial intelligence such as ChatGPT and Gemini. So generative artificial intelligence, that's a type of artificial intelligence that uses algorithms to create new contents such as text, images, audio, and other type of data. So generative AI models are trained on large amounts of data and generate new content by making predictions based on that data. So they can often produce output in response to specific prompts. So those who have used ChatGPT, you know that you can provide a prompt or a query and then you can get the output. So you provide an input to get an output. It's a recent innovation that fundamentally challenges how we think about patient safety. And we still don't know how that can be used safely in everyday clinical practice. So despite a lack of guidance about use of the safe use of these tools, doctors are already using it. So this new survey was conducted in United Kingdom. Around 1,000 general practitioners responded to the online survey. So, and the result shows 1 in 5 use a generative artificial intelligence tool, like 1 in 5 doctors. So, artificial intelligence tools such as OpenAI's ChatGPT, which was most used by the responders, or Google's Gemini to assist with clinical practice. So this report was published in British Medical Journal last month. So to be more specific, how doctors use these AI tools to generate documentation after appointments, to make clinical decisions such as differential diagnosis, to provide information to patients such as discharge summaries and treatment plan. So these were the common uses reported by the general practitioners. So let us look at the challenges with generative AI uses. So traditional AI applications have been developed to perform a very specific task. For example, deep learning neural networks have been used for classification in imaging and diagnostics such as analyzing mammograms to aid in breast cancer screening. But generative AI is not trained to perform a narrowly defined task, so that is a challenge. So these technologies are based on so-called foundation models which have generic capabilities. So this means they can generate text, pixels, audio, or even a combination of these. So how do we use it? So generative AI capabilities are then fine-tuned for different applications, such as answering user queries, producing code, or creating images. So the possibilities for interacting with this type of AI appear to be limited only by the user's imagination. So can we use in healthcare? So these are not being developed for use in a specific context or to be used for a specific purpose. We don't actually know how doctors can use it safely. So that is the main reason why generative AI is tuned or suited for widespread use in healthcare currently. Another big problem in using generative AI tools in healthcare is a concept called hallucination. So the meaning of hallucination here is nonsensical or untruthful outputs based on the input that has been provided. So this was published in New England Journal of Medicine. So this journal is one of the most prestigious in the field of medicine. So the research found some issues like outputs made incorrect links, information in the summaries not referred to the text. This is because generative AI works on the principle of likelihood, such as predicting which word will follow in a given context rather than being based on understanding in a human sense. So this is another reason it is too soon to safely use generative AI in routine clinical practice. So what could happen in actual clinical practice? So let us look at a scenario. A Gen AI tool listens to a patient's consultation and makes summary. So there is a possibility that the Gen AI could potentially produce notes based on what it thinks may be plausible. For example, frequency or severity of the patient's symptoms could be changed. Could add symptoms the patient never complained about. So the tool could include something that the patient or doctor never mentioned. So this is something we have to really worried about. So it can produce some summary which actually did not take place in the clinical setting or in the consultation. So will future models could be better? Possibly, because currently the risk associated with hallucinations are significant. Lot of work is going on to reduce hallucination and other type of errors, so we can anticipate better models in future. What are the patient issues, safety issues to be considered? So we are not clear currently how well generative AI tools works in certain context and setting. How the technology works with actual people. It isn't designed for a specific purpose or use, we know. This means it's adaptable and can be used in ways which we can't fully comprehend or predict now. So developers are regularly updating the technology and it is constantly altering the behavior of the AI application. So this is also we have to keep in mind that we may not get the consistent output always. Technology may not work equally for all users and there could be several factors such as digital literacy, language skills, communication skills, etc. So to conclude, currently there is not sufficient safety and regulatory guidance in using these tools widely in clinical practice. So before these technologies can be used in healthcare, safety assurance and regulation will need to become more responsive to developments in where and how these technologies are used. And it's also necessary for developers of Gen AI tools and regulators to work with the communities using these technologies to develop tools that can be used regularly and safely in clinical practice. So the key message is currently the generative AI tools are not that safe for widespread use in clinical practice. So we need to use these tools with caution because of all these issues we discussed in this video. So hope you find this video useful. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video. Goodbye.